Lindsay Gray here with Carolina Caliber. In 1960, my granddaddy started his firearm business right here in Eastern NC. Still family owned and operated, we have the area's largest selection for outdoor shooting sports and accessories and are one of the nation's top firearm dealers. At Carolina Caliber, we have everything you need from hunting, home defense, and personal protection, including a wide variety for ladies and youth. We buy, sell, and trade. It's a time-honored tradition. Visit us at Carolina Caliber on Fire Tower Road in Winterville.
Alone, chicken, onions, peppers, and cheese have potential. Together, they have a purpose, a destiny, and a name. Jersey Mike's number 16 Chicken Philly, because grilled to order makes a sub above. At Jersey Mike's, we take great satisfaction in getting that perfect meat slice. Yes. But we don't do it for fun. We do it for fresh, because slice to order makes a sub above.
Do you want to get rid of wrinkles, tighten and lift your skin, smooth your skin texture, erase veins and brown spots, and get rid of unwanted hair? Are you interested in Botox or filler? Contact the licensed professionals at Beauty Bar MediSpa on Red Banks Road in Greenville. All products and services are on sale at our spring extravaganza. BeautyBarMediSpa.com. Enjoy your visit. Love your transformation.
You've worked hard to make your business successful, and that's why it's really important to always have a bank in your corner when you need them. This is former ECU baseball player Ashley Capps from First Bank, and our experienced team of local bankers includes Lee Watson, Bonner Latham, Chris Richards, Josh Hooten, and Heath Nisbet. To get the business services that are right for your business today, come and see someone on our team at First Bank on Arlington Boulevard here in Greenville. First Bank, together with our customers, we're creating a world where individuals and communities thrive.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Pirate fans, the 2022 football season is going to be one for the record books. East Carolina is coming off a 7-win bowl season, and 2022 is shaping up to be even better. The Pirates need you to pack Dowdy-Ficklin Stadium this fall with a great home slate that includes in-state rival North Carolina State. The American Conference schedule features home games against UCF, Memphis, Houston, and Navy. Season tickets are on sale for as low as $125. Get your tickets today by visiting ECUPirates.com.
This is Mark Washington with Max Sports Performance at Max Fitness. Our facility has reopened and is following all safety protocols. The best thing you can do to strengthen your immune system is, of course, to work out and exercise on a regular basis. I can assist you as your performance coach. You can also enjoy the benefits of a private facility. Avoid the crowds and work out at Max Fitness. Now is the time to get healthy. Max Fitness, just off Highway 43 in the old Ace Hardware building behind Speedway in Greenville. Call me, Mark Washington, 902-4877.
When I need jeans, I order online because I know exactly what I want. They have just one moving part, and if there's something wrong, I exchange them. Buying a vehicle, especially pre-owned, is way different. Lots of moving parts. You don't want to get stuck. For a worry-free purchase, visit Phelps Chevrolet. We've been here in town a very long time. You know us. You know we stand behind everything we sell. Phelps Chevrolet in Greenville. Come get you one.
This is Pirate Radio, WGHB Farmville, 1250 and 92.7 FM Greenville, WDLX Washington, 930 and 104.1 FM Washington. The following is an exclusive presentation of Pirate Radio, the voice of the pirate nation. This is Eastern Carolina's longest-running sports radio show. The Brian Bailey Show is on the air. The Brian Bailey Show is powered by Greenville Utilities and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft and Hagler, Tiebreakers, and Greenville Auto World.
And now, here's Brian Bailey.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome into our show on this Monday. Happy Monday to you as we talk sports for the next hour. Coming up in this hour, we're going to talk baseball in the second half of our show. We're going to preview the big Rose-Conley matchup that's set for tomorrow. Last week, Conley beat Rose 3-2. Remember, they played in the Eastern Finals in 3A play last year. Bitter rivals, but pretty good friends as far as the coaches go. So we'll have Ronald Vincent, the all-time winningest coach in North Carolina baseball history, on with us, and Jason Mills, the fine head coach coach at DH Conley to kind of preview that matchup, talk about the playoffs, baseball in our area, and that kind of thing. Kicking us off, though, is Amanda Moore. She's the lacrosse coach at East Carolina. Her Pirates are 9-7 on the year. They face a tough task coming up this weekend, trying to make it into the American tournament, and we'll lead off our show with Coach Moore coming up. This is the Brian Bailey Show, starting your sports week. We're back with more after this.
I'm Michael Vaughn with East Coast Grading and Utilities. Many of you know my dad, David Vaughn, and his work in putting in subdivisions all over Pirate Nation. But East Coast Grading and Utilities is not just for those type of big jobs. We're here for the homeowners. Whether it's concrete, driveways, hauling rock, or sand, whatever you need, East Coast Grading and Utilities can get the job done. Call us at 252-531-7494 or check us out on Facebook at East Coast Grading and Utilities.
Your power's out. There's a water leak. What do you do? For these and other utility-related emergencies, you need service, and you want it fast. There are two things you can do to get the quickest response if you're a GUC customer. First, you can call the hotline at 1-855-767-2482 and report any utility-related emergency. That number is also on GUC.com. Or second, you can give GUC your phone number. The hotline process is quickest when their account records have your current phone number. Service you can count on. Greenville Utilities.
Seared Chop House is Greenville's only true chop house. We're open 7 days a week. Seared combines a remarkable menu with an unrivaled atmosphere. Lunch or dinner at Seared is a quality-driven experience where we highlight a thoughtful approach to locally sourced ingredients and hearty, flavor-rich cuisine. We're firing up the grill at Seared, Greenville's only true chop house, located on Fire Tower Road at Bells Fork. Come see us at Seared 7 days a week.
Bring the bright, fresh colors of spring home during Bostic Sugg Furniture's signature Spring Styles event. A little style here, a little color there. Make any room come alive for less. We have so many beautiful ways to refresh your home at savings that look good in any season. Plus, 6 months special financing. Pamper yourself with a new Serta or Restonic mattress and enjoy 48 months special financing with no minimum purchase during the signature Spring Styles event. On now at Bostic Sugg Furniture.
The Angus Grill is your premier spot for the best burgers, cheesesteaks, and brisket sandwiches around. Join us for our unmatched variety of burger combinations. From the mushroom bacon Swiss burger to the jalapeno popper burger to the original Angus classic. Pair that burger with our amazing onion rings, tots, fries, or sweet potato fries. Angus Grill, with 4 amazing locations in eastern North Carolina, including Winterville near Pitt Community College, on Jarvis Street in uptown Greenville, and on Statensburg Road near the hospital. It's the best burger around, guaranteed.
UBE and PirateWear.com is excited to offer Pirate Nation the largest selection of new ECU merchandise and tailgate supplies ever. UBE has the best prices in town, so that makes UBE your one-stop shop for all things ECU. UBE does daily restocks of Champion, Adidas, and Under Armour. Don't forget to bring your young Pirates in to plunder the Crow's Nest, which is the only kids store dedicated to ECU. Plenty of free parking uptown in Greenville. Visit them at PirateWear.com. Go Pirates!
Hi, this is Brian Meador from East Carolina Athletics. You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, providing reliable utility solutions to the Greenville region since 1905. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. We kick things off talking lacrosse. Amanda Moore in her 4th year as the Pirate lacrosse coach, and she joins us to get us set for the regular season finale and hopefully a postseason run for her Pirates. 9-7 on the year. Coach Moore, how are you?
I'm good, Bailey. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. All right, let's go through the American first, because the American has a much different look in lacrosse, because you guys have a couple of teams from the SEC in here. You've got a Conference USA team, as I glance down. Florida is undefeated at 4-0, and you guys play the Gators coming up this weekend in the finale. Temple's 3-1, Vanderbilt's 2-2, East Carolina 2-2, Cincinnati 1-3, Old Dominion at 0-4. The question is, what has to happen for you guys to make the postseason tournament?
Yeah, so, we took care of business this weekend against Cincinnati, winning by 6, 15-9. That was really big for us. What needs to happen really is for Vanderbilt to beat Cincinnati or to not lose by 5. For us, to be in, and that would be huge, obviously, because the tournament here in Greenville, we want to be in it on our field.
All right. So let's go over that again, because it matters how many goals you score then, right?
Yes. So the fact that we were able to sort of separate a little bit in the game this past weekend at Cincinnati, winning by 6 was big. Just because, like you said, in the event that Cincinnati is able to beat Vanderbilt at Vanderbilt, we all are sitting at that, assuming, if we're able to beat Florida this weekend, outstanding, we're in, right? That's the goal. We've got 3 wins, but if we lose to Florida, and if Cincinnati beats Vanderbilt, we're all sitting at 2 and 3.
Correct.
With tied in our record for the 3 and the 4 spot. So then it goes to goal differential in that sort of a 3-team mini conference. We lost to Vanderbilt by 7, but we beat Cincinnati by 6. So it really just goes to what the Cincinnati-Vanderbilt score would be, and Cincinnati would need to beat Vanderbilt handedly to sort of make that goal differential up because of our win this weekend.
All right. I looked at it last night, and I was like, okay, I know, I thought I read somewhere that you guys were in, and then I started reading more about it, and it didn't sound like you guys were in quite yet. But by beating Cincinnati, you pretty much took a huge step toward making the postseason. Huge
step, and just, kind of controlling our own fate on that one, in terms of, the goal differential thing, too. It was a big one. But it's not a total lock. So, we're going to be watching that Vanderbilt-Cincinnati game closely, and, hoping for them to play a tight game and for Vanderbilt to win.
There you go. All right, take us back to last week now. Cincinnati gets up 4-0 on your girls. You had to be thinking, like, hey, we got to rally here.
Yeah, it's kind of had the feeling like, hey, our conference season, the ability to be at home and playing on our field, and the conference tournament's on the line, felt like we came out a little bit tight. Maybe we were feeling some of those emotions, on the offensive end. But, defense able to buckle down, sort of rediscipline themselves, playing with urgency, made a couple of stops, and offense, really, we had good looks, but our shots weren't dropping. But it was great. We were able to sort of turn the tide with the draws at the end. And then to start out the second period with the second quarter, we had made 2 defensive stops, went down, scored, won 3 or 4 consecutive draw controls. Obviously, possession is key. Won the draw, scored. Won the draw, scored. Won the draw, scored. So we had ourselves a game.
All right, you've got your senior class, your first one at East Carolina, graduating this year. What does that mean to you from starting this whole program from scratch and to see these young ladies? I'm sure you've seen them grow and mature and become better players. The team's in better shape than it was when you first started. It's got to mean a whole lot to you.
Oh, so much. And we actually have 3 from our first class. We graduated our first 2 class last year. Obviously, a non-traditional sort of a COVID.
Yeah.
Then again, so we have 3 from our very first class that are 5th-year seniors this year that are graduating. So celebrating them and 5 other seniors this weekend. Just tremendous strides, right? This is our 5th competition season. Obviously, our 3rd and 4th. A 3rd one was ended early. 4th one heavily impacted by COVID.
Right.
And just sort of a non-traditional season, playing conference games, double headers. It's really weird. So to see, the consistency in our ability to practice and train and the growth of our players week in and week out has just been awesome. So proud of all of our seniors with those 5th-year guys. To hug them up after the game at Cincinnati on Cincinnati Field, knowing how our senior day ended last year with a single loss to Cincinnati, it was just really special.
When you look back to the COVID year, and now we pretty much have to say COVID years, because as you said, it was kind of, the next year was better, but it wasn't a whole lot better. But, how hard was that for especially when you're building a program?
Yeah, I think you just said it right there. We were building, right? So, our season 3 of our program is, we were off on a great start. I think we were something like 5-2, 5-3, and the season just ends. right? Like it abruptly ends. We send everybody home. We come back that fall, and you're in and out. You know, it's like, and everybody experienced this across the country. We weren't an isolated case, but you know, we would have a game plan on Wednesday, you know, wrapped up in a bow, and Thursday morning you'd get a call that, hey, these 2 players are out. They had starting roles, and you know, oh, by the way, you know, they had 4 close contacts. Well, those are the people that would step in to fill that gap because they're all roommates. You know?
Yeah.
Like, oh, all right, who can play attack today?
Yeah, and that's got to be. And I've talked with all the football coaches. They say the same thing, and basketball coaches. I mean, it was just crazy that not only you understand if someone catches COVID, they can't play. You understand that, but then it got to be close contact, and what was a close contact, and were they really that close? And I mean,
yeah, you know, like we fell into the pit trap of, you know, we're a really tight team. You know, it's Pirates on 3, family on 6. Like, we cheer family, like, for a reason. Like, all of our girls live together. Like, they all have houses there, you know, in the grid, and they all live in apartments together. So, you know, we had 2 worst case scenarios where we had a house of 4 defenders and a house of, I think it was 3 attackers and 1 midi. And you're like, if this house goes down with COVID, like,
yeah.
Like, you don't have enough defenders. Like, we gotta start poaching players to play other positions here.
I know, and it was tough, and hopefully those days are behind us. Now you've got number 10 Florida coming to town this weekend, Saturday 11 a.m. start time. Yeah. You know, what would it take to beat a team that's nationally ranked? What do you have to do to step that up?
You know, we're going to have to be a little bit creative on our end. You know, obviously playing with a ton of focus and precision in all of those things. But, you know, Florida's really fast. They've got a really fast team, very aggressive, ton of firepower. So we're going to have to play great in the cage. Bryn Knight, freshman goalie, she's really been playing great in this conference part of the season. We're going to have that consistency and some big stops. We are going to have to at least match or beat on the draw, you know, to try to have possession of the ball. And extend those possessions. You know, you say like second chance opportunities, that's going to be big for us, you know, to really compete and keep it close and play for the win.
Is that the main difference between a team, you know, that's building and trying to get into the national rankings and a nationally ranked team? Is it the size, the strength, and the speed, basically?
Yeah, it's the speed. You know, speed and I would too say depth. You know, depth of that speed in your positions. You know, then the other big thing is the draw, right? You know, that's after each goal, the ball goes back to the center, and the teams are competing for that 50-50 ball in the center. It becomes really, really critical. You know, if you're able to narrow those margins on both the defensive and offensive end, you know, the draw is really what it comes down to.
When you look at your season so far, you started off 4-0, then you had the 2 nationally ranked games. What did you learn in the losses to Duke and to Jacksonville?
Gosh, you know, it was interesting. We had, you know, sort of like a heart-to-heart as a team sort of there in the middle of the season, and it was like, hey, we can't just get up for the games that we're supposed to win. Like, we have to learn how to battle hard, battle smart, battle together, you know, against these top opponents, you know, and just being ready to compete. So I think we learned a lot that way. We also learned that it was really, really important to invest in our scouting reports. As players, you know, as coaches, we emphasize that, but it was really, you know, players just selling out in the role and the job that they had in each game. And I feel like our girls have done a great job, really since our Hopkins game, of investing in that role. You know, be it as a scout team player, prepping the starters for who they were going to see, and, you know, likewise, like owning your job.
When you look at your conference slate, and obviously you had some close games, you beat Old Dominion 14-11, and that turns out to be, you know, with the Cincinnati win, those are the 2 wins in conference play, and both of them are huge if you're going to make it into that postseason tournament.
Huge, yes. And, you know, felt like, you know, we really, like in those last 5 minutes, all right, we're winning, and gave up 2 or 3, you know, sort of like easier goals that I think they would want back. But it just ended up fueling our fire for that next Monday practice, you know, in that way. But Cincinnati, you said in the beginning, we were speaking, Brian, that down by 4, won by 6, a huge swing, and just so proud of the fight and resiliency, really, that both ends showed in that game at Cincinnati on Cincinnati Senior Day, and limiting one of their best offensive threats to 1 goal.
When you look at your ball club in the 2 losses, you lose to Vanderbilt 19-12, and then you fall to Temple 15-10. But when you look at those games, did you feel like you came out of those saying, hey, we're just as good as they are, we just didn't have it that day?
No, 100%. 100%. And I think more so, we were really kind of, like, I don't know what Temple and Vanderbilt, 3 quarters, even Steven. And in the fourth quarter, and this is what we used coming into the Cincinnati game, is like the fourth quarter, we gave up 2 or 3, and we weren't ever able to regain momentum or close the gap in both of that Temple and Vanderbilt game. And then you go out and you press to try to get the ball back for the win, and you give up a goal or 2 in your press, right? So in going into the Cincinnati game, you know, what we learned is from an approach standpoint is like we have to be in the moment. We can't be thinking about the last 8 minutes of the game. We have to be in the moment for every play in that fourth quarter. I think our team did that really well this past weekend.
Just think if you'd been able to beat Vanderbilt and beat Temple, you'd be 4-0 in league play and having Florida come in town. That would be big, wouldn't it?
Oh, it'd be huge. And also, it matters where you get placed too, because right now Florida's number 1 in the conference. They've more or less solidified that number 1 spot. So they're the 1 seed, and we're likely going in as the 4 seed. So the hopes that everything happens this weekend that should happen, and we go in as the 4 seed. So we look to play Florida potentially twice in the span of 6 days.
Yeah, play them span of 6 days twice, both at home. So you gotta like your chances that maybe you learn something in that first game, regardless of how it goes. But still, you gotta try to pull that upset. But as you said, Florida is ranked 10th nationally. You gotta keep an eye on that other game. But hopefully everything will work out for those Pirates to make that postseason tournament. Because that when you see success like that, measurable success, that means a lot to the program.
It does. In recruiting and the morale of your players and your team, obviously you set goals in the beginning of the season. This was definitely one of them. You want to set, challenging but attainable goals. We thought this was one, and, we want to get there. I mean, don't get me wrong, we want to beat Florida on Saturday, and, we'd love another crack at them again.
All right, maybe you would play somebody else, right? Because they would go to 4-1. Temple would win and go to 4-1. I guess Florida would have the tiebreaker over Temple then if they're undefeated. But who knows what could happen when you get? As most coaches will say, anything can happen in a tournament.
Anything can happen in a tournament, and obviously any win against a ranked opponent, at this time of the season when you've already got a winning record, has postseason, ramifications. In our sport for NCAA. So, yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Amanda Moore, East Carolina lacrosse coach, joining us today. Coach, I know you touched on it a little bit, but before we let you go, the keys to having success and maybe upsetting the 10th-ranked team in the nation, the Florida Gators, coming up Saturday.
Yeah, it's for us to shoot well. They've got a great goalie. Florida's an excellent all-conference goalie. We need to shoot well against her. We need to keep the draw competitive. As close as possible to have as many opportunities as possible in our offensive end. We got to make saves.
There you go. Amanda Moore, head coach of lacrosse at East Carolina. Number 10, Florida, coming to town. 11 a.m. start time coming up on Saturday. Coach, best of luck. Thanks so much for joining us today, talking a little lacrosse, and good luck, and let's see you guys in that tournament.
Thank you so much, Brian. Appreciate it.
All right. Lacrosse coach Amanda Moore joining us here on the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday. As we always say, we're getting your sports week started. Coming up next, we will talk Rose and Conley baseball. Ronald Vincent, the all-time winningest coach in North Carolina's baseball history. Love saying that every time we introduce RV, Coach Ronald Vincent. He's up next as we continue on here on the Brian Bailey Show right after this.
This is a Pirate Radio Sports Break presented by Ron Ayers Motorsports, Highway 11 north of the airport in Greenville. Tulane scored runs in 7 of 8 innings to take the rubber match 10-5 over ECU yesterday in New Orleans. The Pirates fall to 8-4 in the AAC. Tulane is now 8-4, and there is a 3-way tie atop the conference standings. ECU returns to action tomorrow night, taking on NC State in Raleigh at 7 o'clock. ECU softball closed out the Lady Vol Challenge with a pair of losses losses yesterday. The Pirates played UNC Greensboro in Game 1, losing 3-1, and lost Game 2 to 14th-ranked Tennessee 9-1. ECU will return to Max R. Joyner Family Stadium tomorrow afternoon at 5 o'clock to host North Carolina Central. And ECU football picked up another commitment from Duke transfer Jarrett Garner. The 6'3", 210-pound wide receiver has at least 2 years of eligibility remaining. This has been a Pirate Radio Sports Break. I'm Shirley Rhodes. The Rick House is Eastern North Carolina's premier American-style restaurant and bourbon bar. Join us at the Rick House for mouth-watering steaks and made-from-scratch pastas. Check out the 16-ounce cowboy steak or the seafood delight pasta. Join us for our legendary brunch on Sundays from 10 to 2. The Rick House can feed your larger crowds with off-site catering and room for 125 in our adjacent banquet hall. The Rick House, American Provisions and Spirits, 710 Red Banks Road beside the bowling alley in Greenville.
Have you ever seen those exotic aquariums like the guys do in Las Vegas on television? You ever thought about having one of these aquariums in your business? It's more affordable than you think. This is Hal Pruitt with rentafishtank.com. We can make having an aquarium in your business turnkey with no work, cleaning, or hassles for you. Rentafishtank.com creates a relaxing atmosphere and keeps children occupied. Rentafishtank.com already services many dental, pediatric, and doctor offices, plus hospitals and senior living centers. Check us out at rentafishtank.com.
Safety comes first at Greenville Utilities. Did you know that by itself, natural gas is completely odorless? As a safety precaution, a chemical is added to the gas that gives it a distinctive and unpleasant odor. This allows you to detect the slightest amount of natural gas both indoors and outdoors. If you smell a strong odor of natural gas in or near your home, you should immediately call Greenville Utilities. GUC maintains staff around the clock in order to provide immediate response to emergencies such as natural gas leaks. You can count on GUC to keep safety job number one.
We have some exciting news at Angel Oak Home Loans. This is Talbot Green, and I would like to introduce you to the newest member of our team, Braxton Green. I've known Braxton his entire life because he's my nephew. He is also a recent ECU graduate and has lived in Eastern North Carolina his entire life.
This is Braxton Green, and I'm looking forward to working with you with your next home loan or refinance. Give us a call at Angel Oak Home Loans today at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250, Equal Housing Lender.
Pirate Radio.
It's going to change. I promise you. As I stand here, it will change. Okay, and when it does, that stadium, it's going to be rocking, and heaven help whoever walks in there to play us.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community owned, community powered. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back to our show as we roll on. Now we're talking baseball. Rose and Conley meet again tomorrow night, weather permitting, because there is a question mark as far as the weather goes. Conley beat Rose the other night 3-2. This time the rematch is at Guy Smith Stadium. You remember last year in the 3A Eastern Finals at Conley, one of the biggest crowds I've ever seen for a high school baseball game, and J.H. Rose knocked off D.H. Conley 5-0. Was that final? Ronald Vincent, the state's all-time winningest baseball coach, joins us now. And, Coach, first of all, how exciting is it to play this Conley team again?
Oh, you know it's exciting. Brian, it's just so much fun, so much, and it helps both teams, because there's so much intensity, and it's a big crowd, and everybody's there, and, you have to get used to playing under pressure like that, and so it helps both teams. Regardless of who wins or loses, obviously we're going to try to win, but both teams benefit from all this stuff. And it's and in addition to that, Conley's a really good baseball team, so that makes it even more even tougher. But
when you look back to last year's 3A Eastern Finals, was that the biggest crowd you guys have ever played in front of?
It has to be. It has to be. It was the people standing everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, they were all over the place.
Everywhere, and that was an hour before the game started.
Yeah, you're right. People trying to get in there, and it was kind of a welcome deal because we were still trying. Last year's season was almost normal, but it still had COVID deals here and there and everything, and that was kind of a huge crowd and people sitting on top of one another, but it was it was unbelievable.
Yeah, and it was like 2 weeks after school was out.
Yeah, that's right. It was late. It was in June because the season got pushed. Yeah, I didn't realize that until we were talking about the game Thursday night. We were previewing it. I went back and looked at the 3 Eastern Finals, and I couldn't find it in May. And I thought, it's got to be in May, but it wasn't. It was in June.
Yeah. So that was after school was out. So that makes it even more crazy how many people were there.
When you look at your ball club this season, obviously another great year, 14-3 on the season so far, 7-1 in the Big Carolina 3A, 4A. Where do you see this team? How much better can this team be?
Well, we've got a lot of room for improvement. We are not hitting throughout the lineup like we can, like we have to. We're getting production out of this one, and then this week this one, but we all need to. If we start producing in every spot in the batting order, of course that helps. And, in high school, the difference is there's guys that bat 7, 8, 9, 6, 7, 8, 9. And our guys have done a real good job, but we can do that. And our pitching has been better than we thought down the line. We're a little bit deeper in pitching than we thought. But it's always, everybody tell you there's always room for improvement. And like these tough games, it makes you improve.
I was going to say, speaking of tough games, when you look at the 3 losses on your schedule, Perquimans, West Carteret, and the loss to Conley last week, what did you learn from your ball club in those 3 losses?
Well, the Perquimans game, up there early in the year, they are really good, and we weren't ready to play that night. And they had a lot to do with it. Their pitching was so good, and then we kind of backed down and learned a lot from that. And then down at West Carteret really had a different kind of team. And we gave up 2 runs in the first inning and lost the game 2-1. And I don't think they got but 2 or 3 more runners. So that's a big deal because now you have to understand. Look, every pitch or every inning counts, and you don't know when the most important times are going to happen. And then that was a big deal. And then Conley Rose High game is always just such a good game, and it was a good game, and it's fun to be part of games like that. It's fun to see all that. But
yeah, it really is. And I was talking to somebody this weekend. I can't remember who it was, but I said, the thing that's I've been blessed with here in Pitt County and in Greenville is the fact we have East Carolina, right in our backyard. Especially in baseball, always a powerhouse. Football has had its ups and downs, but is on the upswing right now. It's just there's so much going on with that, but also our high schools, and we do the high school football show with Touchdown Friday, and we've got such a that Big Carolina 3A, 4A in football is just loaded. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then in baseball, year in and year out, when you look at the conference that Rose and Conley and most of your South Central, they're all going to be up there. I mean, it's really, really good baseball. And it's not only is it good, but it's stuff people care about. And I think that's the key to being able to have a sports department this year is that if nobody cared, they wouldn't pay you to do anything. But because people care so much that it's very important.
Yeah, it's a big deal. Like you said, all those schools you talk about, good years, bad years, they're always hard to beat because it doesn't matter. They might be kind of average, but you still have to beat them on the field because everybody's going. They're going to play defense because we play so much baseball, and you're going to swing the bat some. So each year, no matter how up or down the team is, God, you still have to. They're still hard to beat, and like you said, there's a lot of people. A lot of emotion involved in this baseball in Pitt County, Brian.
It really is. I remember way back in the day, it was at Conley, and I had never seen you really argue with an umpire much, and you really don't very often. But there was a play at second. And I don't know if you remember it or not. I was on the first base side, I think near your dugout, and I thought, man, RV's fired up over that one. But
yeah, obviously the umpire missed it then.
Exactly, and Marvin said he did, so he had to have missed it.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, he had to. Marvin said he missed it. So, and you try not to go out there and do much with the umpires and stuff, but. Even those games, so intense. Every play means so much, every play means so much, and just you can't take a play off or anything like that. I guess that's why we get so pumped up about during that game, because every play means so much.
What did the win in the Pitt County Classic over the Burlington School mean for you guys?
Now that was a really, really good win for us. That team was very solid. They had players going all over, Maryland and this place and Arkansas and all this stuff, and our guys the big thing about it is our guys competed so hard that game, and they really got after it, and that carries you a long way as the season goes on, because that's what we're going to face in the playoffs. Teams like that, and you have to be ready. You have to be ready to play those teams. God, hard throwing left-handers. Woo!
I bet. We've talked about this a number of times through the years, and I've always admired baseball coaches because there is so much going on in the spring. First of all, everybody's got a little spring fever anyway. Then you've got senior, people get senioritis. I remember people, when I was graduating, people would get senioritis. I had a bad case of it. But then you got the prom going on, and there's so much going on with the young people's lives. And now you have to deal with Twitter and TikTok and Instagram and Snapchat. And I mean, all these things that some of these things I don't even look at all, but all these guys, and then if somebody Snapchats something that somebody on the other team doesn't like, and the next thing you know, you got a brouhaha going, don't you?
Yeah, it's crazy. The last 6 weeks of the school year, which is where we are now, it's crazy anyhow, because it's golly, it's 87 degrees today, Brian.
Yep.
Out there at practice, and it's going to be and a lot of things go through young guys' minds this time of year. A lot of things go through it. We try to keep them focused, and they do. The guys do. They guys give me an hour and a half, 2 hours, and then we can go ahead and go home and study, right?
Yeah, that's what they do. They go home and study. I'm sure of that on both teams. All right, let's talk about Conley a little bit before we get you out of here and we get Coach Mills on. But this Conley baseball team, I talked to Jason the other night, and he said, I'll be surprised if we can keep up with Rose. So I guess he sandbagged a little bit. Conley won at 3-2. But the word was that Mateus threw the baseball better than he's probably thrown it all year.
Yeah, he's just the best I've seen him throw it. He's getting that curveball over constantly, and he's got that good late breaking curveball, and he throws it hard enough to keep you off balance. And he was really good, and he really made some really big pitches at crucial times. And so and Conley's hitters, the first 4 or 5 hitters are really hard to get out, and Mateus is. I'll be glad when he's graduated.
Yeah, he's been there 8 years, hasn't he?
At least 8 years. He's faced us. Yeah, I'll be glad when he goes on. Does his thing.
And his sister was a great ball player too, wasn't she?
She was. I think she was softball player of the year up there in Greensboro, wasn't she?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. She was. I love watching her play at Conley. She was really, really good. And I tell you what, she could play with Matthew Mateus, the star for this GH Conley baseball team. We'll talk to Jason Mills in just a bit. Before we let you go, Coach, though, talk a little bit about just the honest to goodness friendship that you have with Jason and the Conley folks. I mean, my kids all went to Conley. My stepkids went to Conley. Bella's still there. She's graduating this year. But to a man, there's so many great people at Rose that I feel like are almost like family to me, and that's pretty much back and forth like that, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the way we feel about it. Those guys are good friends, and for all the Conley coaches are. The assistant coaches, we talk a lot of times and see each other during the summer and stuff like that. But for about 2.5 hours now, we're not real friendly.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was saying,
real well, though.
As soon as you shake hands at home plate and give the lineups to the umpire, it's kind of like, okay, we don't like you all that much.
I'm smiling for the next 2.5 hours, but they really have a lot of respect, and we do see each other quite a bit during, like I say, summer and fall, and have pretty much the same situation, same each team has the same problems, and we talk to each other, and it's kind of unique.
All right, what are you going to do on the mound on Tuesday? Have you decided on a starter yet?
No, and a little bit it has to do with what it does weather-wise, and that may change a lot of plans for us because, we've got a game Wednesday and a game Thursday. We've got a New Bern Thursday, and that's a game we can't let get away from us, and we've got a Northside on Wednesday, and we can't let that get away from us. So we don't want to, we have to even this thing out, and see what happens with the rain. And Brian, you understand what I'm saying. Neither side wants to get into a suspended game type situation where you play a couple innings and then you do that. Neither side wants to do that on a crappy field and crappy weather. And neither side wants to get involved. Well, let's get it started and see what happens if it rains. And then you play an inning or two, and you play that suspended game, and the inning or two counts, and then you have to come back, finish it later, and that's miserable when you have to get involved in stuff like that.
Yeah, I agree. Now, if you guys do get rained out tomorrow night, what's the schedule look like? Because it sounds like you're pretty busy this week.
Yeah, because we've got to go to Northside on Wednesday, and we got conference games. So it would be Friday before we could play it again, Friday or Monday.
Yeah.
And then College got New Bern and South Central next week, so they don't want to play us, New Bern and South Central in the same week. That's a tough week. So
I vote for Monday because we've got Pirate Baseball Friday. So, but we'll go either way because they're both very important games, and hopefully though you'll get it tomorrow. East Carolina does have baseball tomorrow as well against North Carolina State in Raleigh, but some big baseball coming up.
Yep, it's fun. If you really like sports and baseball, Rose Conley baseball is as much fun as you'll ever go to any sporting event. It really is.
Really is. Coming up tomorrow, Rose and Conley at Guy Smith Stadium. Coach, thanks so much for taking time out of your day to join us, and best of luck to those Rampants tomorrow night and the rest of the season. Maybe we'll catch up with you again in the playoffs coming up later on.
Okay. Thanks, Brian.
All right. Ronald Vincent, North Carolina's all-time winningest high school baseball coach. His Rampants 14-3, 7-1 in the Big Carolina 4A, 3A. Losses to Perquimans, West Carteret, and D.H. Conley the other night. The Conley rematch is set for tomorrow night at Guy Smith, weather permitting. We'll take a commercial break right now. We'll come back. Jason Mills from D.H. Conley. He joins us as we continue on the Brian Bailey Show after this.
The best burgers around. Everyone loves a thick, juicy, and fresh burger. Tiebreakers in Greenville, plus the all-new Tiebreakers in Winterville, do real burgers better than anybody. So don't just go to any burger-themed restaurant chain. It's time to break the chain and eat local. Tiebreakers, real burgers at its best.
Everybody loves burgers.
Hi, I'm Ken Hagler of Taft and Hagler. We're proud to be sponsors of the Brian Bailey Show and the Pirate Nation on Pirate Radio, the voice of the Pirate Nation. If you've been injured on the job or due to someone else's negligence in an automobile collision, call us at 752-2000 for a free consultation with experienced professionals who care. Go Pirates!
This isn't your regular cola, so this isn't your regular cola ad. No beach parties or family barbecues here, just Nitro Pepsi, the first cola ever infused with nitrogen. So forget everything you thought you knew about soda, because that nitrogen gives us a whole new experience. Think an infusion of smaller bubbles for a cola that's got a lighter, smoother texture. And don't get me started on the pour. You don't pour this like any other cola. We're talking turn the can completely upside down and watch as those bubbles cascade into the glass to create a frothy, luxurious foam topping. Can your cola do that? I didn't think so. Unless you've got your own Nitro Pepsi, in which case cheers to your great taste. Because you already know that the only thing better than the pour is the unapologetic cola taste. What else is there to say? From the creamy foam to the smooth texture to its unbelievably delicious flavor, this is cola like you've never had it before. Time to bring your taste buds to the next frontier. New Nitro Pepsi. Smooth, creamy, delicious.
Pepper, oh no, they didn't.
Papa John's just took their signature pepperoni and hand-stuffed it inside that garlic-kissed crust. Oh, now that's an epic pepperoni stuffed crust pizza like no mouth has ever seen.
Hey, Pirate fans, the Papa John's Epic Pepperoni Stuffed Crust One-Topping Pizza is only $13.99 and is an MVP move for game day or any day. Place your order online at papajohns.com and sign up for Papa Rewards. Papa John's, the official pizza of the ECU Pirates. Before you hit the road this travel season, be sure to get your tires inspected by the tire guys at Greenville Auto World. The Greenville Auto World service team sells all the top brands and economy tires if you need a new set. Need an oil change, state inspection, or AC repair? Greenville Auto World can work on any type of vehicle, and the monthly oil change special is only $29.99. Make an appointment now by calling 364-8730. For award-winning service, trust Greenville Auto World.
This is Bryant Packard, ECU former baseballer. You're listening to Pirate Radio, the voice of Pirate Nation.
You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities. Community-owned utilities mean local control, low rates, and high reliability. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back on this Monday. We're getting connected with Jason Mills, GH Conley coach, as we speak. Our ace producer, Clip Brock, took a little break on us and just fell asleep at the wheel. If he's driving a truck, he'd have wrecked it. You got a busy signal, didn't you?
Got his voicemail.
Oh, great. Yeah. That's why we kind of prepare for these things and try to get ready. But Jason Mills is going to join us in just a bit. Conley 16-3 and 7-1 in the Big Carolina 3A, 4A conference. As we said, Matthew Mateus pitched very well the other night in that 3-2 win over J.H. Rose. Clip Brock has come through like a champion, like the champion that he is. He's getting a standing ovation by the intern group right now. Yeah, nice job, everybody. Jason Mills now joins us, the head coach at Conley. Coach, how are you?
Doing great. How are you doing today?
Not too bad. Okay, let's talk about this Conley baseball team. 16-3, 7-1 in the Big Carolina. Losses to New Hanover, to South Central, and to Stoneman Douglas on the season. That Stoneman Douglas lost 15-0. That was in the National High School Invitational in Cary, and that's why you guys didn't play in the Pitt County Classic. But what did you learn from your ball club in a blowout loss like that?
Oh, well, we've learned that Stoneman Douglas is the best team in the country by far. I mean, they went and just hammered everybody up there, and I had coached 7 of their guys during the summer and fall, and so it was nice seeing those guys, and we knew they were coming up, and they were, and it was a good experience. I mean, it kind of drove us the next 2 games. We played a team from California that's like 3rd ranked in California, and Servite, and they were loaded. They had 5 UCLA commits and 2 Arizona, Cal State Fullerton commits. And so our kids played extremely well that day. And, we've had some injuries, and so we have some new guys in the lineup. And that was a really good showing for them. And they're learning how to play at this level and having some success.
Before we talk Rose and Conley, talk about what you do in the summer with some of the travel ball and coaching that. And how much do you enjoy that?
Oh, I love it. It pays for my daughter's college. You got to love that.
You got to love that.
Basically, I work for a team called Canes Baseball. We used to be the Evo Shield Canes, but that banner got, when Wilson bought Evo Shield, we dropped out. And so it's age groups from 17U all the way down, who knows what age, but I'm just mostly with the 17U kids. And every one of our kids are committed, and our kids that we have on my team have all been hand-selected. From here, we've had 4, Matthew Mateus, Dixon Williams, Bryant Packard, and Philip Sanderson all played for me on those teams. But, I mean, I think on opening day roster off our old teams, we had 38 guys on Major League opening day rosters that have played for me since 2012. So it's that high-level baseball. It's a nice break sometimes from here, but at the same time, every situation has its up and downs, dealing with agents and advisors. And, the best player on a team, you got a kid hitting 9-hole, asking him bunt, and he hits 3-hole in his high school, and he's never bunted before. So there's different headaches at every level.
The 4 guys you mentioned were like a who's who of Conley baseball, weren't they?
Oh yeah, you might throw maybe an Alex White or a Davis Kirkpatrick.
That's true too. Yeah.
Yeah, all of those guys were something, I tell you, and it's really nice when you have guys on your team like that because they can win you some games.
Talk about Matthew Mateus a little bit, Coach. Coach Vincent was just on with us, and I said that people were telling me they thought Matthew threw better than he's thrown all year against Rose. Ronald Vincent said pretty much the same thing, that he had his curveball breaking. He had different speeds, and he really dominated play. Is that the best you've seen him pitch?
I would probably no, but it's the best he pitched against Rose, and I will tell you, for almost 365 days, me and that child have been plotting. How can we beat? Because look, he's never beat Rose before. We had him his freshman year, and we gave up a 2-run home run with 2 outs in the 7th. One of our relievers did, and then last year we had him during the regular season and made an error. And Mitch Jones came up with a huge hit with 2 outs to put them up. So this was important to Matthew to win. But since last year, he and I kind of went to the drawing board, and he developed a slider, and then we went exclusively his breaking ball. His curveball was the big one last year, but we threw 3 curveballs and 1 changeup. Everything else was fastball slider. And during the summer when he played for me, I forced him to do it, and sometimes he got hit around, sometimes he was magnificent, and he's finally kind of found that pitch that can neutralize some really good hitters, and he had a ton of success this fall. Velocity's starting to come up. I mean, you can't speak enough about Matthew and how hard he works. He's just, he's just constantly driven to become better.
We talked with RV about the fact that this is a big rivalry, but there's so many people that all of us know. And I told Ronald, my kids both went to Conley. My stepkids both gone to Conley. Bella's still over there. I mean, but there's so many people at Rose that I truly think of as family. And with this rivalry, you guys pretty much have the same type situation. I mean, you guys are very close, except for those 2.5, 3 hours that you play.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's just Clay and RV and Tommy and their staff, Marvin, of course, and our staff, we're just, we are friends. And people might not realize that we look forward to playing each other because, all of us are competitors and love that competition. And there is no other competition as big as a Rose-Conley rivalry around here anyway in baseball. And, I'm sure I might upset people from South Central, but that those games every year, you kind of pencil them in and you look forward to it. The friendships we all have developed over, I've been here 23 years. I couldn't tell you how many years RV's been there, and Clay played against me and now coaches against me, and Mike and Trevor, my assistants, are the same. And it is just something that we all kind of cherish every day. I mean, I still remember last year when they dogpiled on my field, and
they did,
and it hurts inside. But you know what? The first person to meet me at home plate was RV and Clay and Tommy, and just ultimate class in their whole organization. With their staff and their kids play extremely hard, and they're extremely well coached, and so there's a lot of admiration for their program from us, and that's what makes playing a team like that so much fun and so exciting. And you come to the crowds and the people are all amped up and they're spending money at the concessions and they're hooting and hollering and cheering, and it just makes a fun night for these young men.
That was so much fun, and going live and previewing the matchups and having the coaches on and talking about it, and like I told RV, I mean, the reason I think that I've been blessed for so many years here is that sports matters to people. I mean, was that the largest crowd that Conley's ever had for a high school baseball game? It had to be, didn't it?
Oh, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I mean, Coach Maloney and I still talk about that. I really appreciate everybody coming out. There is a brand new mower that me and Coach Deans have. So really appreciate the endorsement of my field and buying those $7 tickets. But kidding aside, I mean, that, RV and I played in 2005 when they were the 2-time defending state champions, the first year we won it. And that crowd over at Guy Smith was enormous. But this one was crazy, and I think it was so crazy because of COVID and because people were we're really longing for something exciting to happen. I mean, you miss the whole season, and then your next season's kind of half a season. And Rose went on they struggled early in the year. Then all of a sudden, they went on a magical run there.
Yeah,
put it together, and just we're outstanding. And we had done well all season. I think the only loss we had was to them, and so the two of us come together is was pretty special, especially after I think it was Packard's senior year. Rose lost to Green Hope in the in the fourth round, and we lost to Hoggart in the fourth round. I mean, could you imagine what a 3-game set between our two programs would be like in Greenville? So it'd be a lot of fun, but this year won't happen, unfortunately. The state didn't choose us to be 3A anymore, so we'll have to wait a couple years to get them back in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that is always a lot of fun. And I just, you're right, Conley now 4A and Rose in the 3A ranks, but still, both teams favored to go a long way in the baseball postseason. Do you know what you're going to do on the mound tomorrow night? Do you have any plan? 'Cause I know you guys have a busy week. I didn't realize it until RV was reeling off the games, but both teams have a lot at stake this week. There's a threat of rain. Coach said you really don't want to start a game and have to suspend it. So what's your plan?
So it's probably not going. By rule we could bring Matthew back, but I don't think he's even in play. He might be able to close an inning. Probability we're going to go with one of the sophomores, either Riley Williams or Riley Treadway. They've been throwing the ball extremely well for us. Ryan Smith and Luke Lambert, who we saw come in the game, have been kind of the middle back end of the games for us this year and done a great job. So, it's probably going to be one where you might see, 3 or 4 pitchers from us and piece it together. And, I was talking to Coach Meadows at North Pitt today, and this is going to be really important for us because, our kids are going to get that experience in a huge game. I mean, they got to throw an NHSI and did well there, but this is a little bit different. This is pressure at home, not 3 hours away, and against a rival team that you're going to be amped up against. And so this is actually going to help us with throwing those younger kids getting ready for the playoffs because those guys are going to have to win some games. We can't go, the Matty Mateus show every game. So that's probable plan. I would imagine Riley Williams will be on the mound first, and then we'll go from there.
What's the key to getting another win over Rose? Because obviously, having just played them, they've got a bad taste in their mouth. They're going to be playing at home, so it's a difficult assignment.
Well, absolutely. Our key to winning every game we've played this year is throw strikes, don't make any errors, play clean, and that's everybody. We'll hit enough and score enough. And the other night, our walks were a little bit high, but the one error cost us a run. But if you play clean defense and don't walk people in high school baseball, you're going to win a lot of games. And the games we've lost, I bet you we've been close to double digits in the free passes and, probably 3 or 4 errors in there. And so we have to play clean. And I'm sure RV would say the same thing. You can't make mistakes defensively, and you can't give them free passes because when you do, it seems like they put up a pile of runs. And so we're going to, that's our goal, is to play that good defense, swing it, continue swinging it. I'll tell you, Chase Anderson did a really good job against us the other night, changing speeds and locating. And then, I told my coaching staff, you have to be in the lead late in the game because when Grayson Myrick comes in, he's kind of their go-to guy in big situations, whether it's at the plate or on the mound. And you have to be winning before they can hand the ball to Grayson. If you get to the end of the game and Grayson's got the ball with the win, you're probably going to lose that ball game. So that's the goal, is we've got to score early and get up on him so when he does come in the game, we've got a little lead to play with.
Final thought, Coach. I want to congratulate you, and I meant to say the same thing to RV, but everybody, Coach Meadows, everybody that has something to do, Farmville Central over there with Aiden Grifton with the Pitt County Classic, it's just the way you guys hosted teams. I was out at Conley and had a chance to interview Turner Brown for a story that we did, but the field was in great condition. You had a little weather issues you had to deal with, but all of you guys deserve to be congratulated. That was a great event.
Yeah, 52 teams. I bet you I spent about 100 hours on the phone bringing everybody in, and probably spend another 14 hours rescheduling and figuring out fields and trying to get them ready. And, the guys do a great job at their facilities hosting these people. And, we just want to continue to bring people into our community from outside. It fills our restaurants. It fills our hotels. They all get to see East Carolina Stadium and can drive by Pitt and see how much baseball means to this community and see how good it is. And I'll tell you, that's what Bloom Carroll's coach told me. He said the reason why they keep coming back year in, year out is a level of competition, whether it's a top-level team or a mid-level team, is competitive, and they just don't get it in other states like that. And so that's why they constantly come down here. So we're going to continue to keep doing it and have a good time.
All right, Jason Mills joining us, Conley and Rose Part 2 coming up tomorrow night at Guy Smith Stadium. Coach, thanks so much for the visit. Good luck tomorrow night.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
All right, Jason Mills, head coach at Conley. We'll take our final break. We'll come back and we'll wrap up this edition of the Brian Bailey Show on this Monday after this.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
This is Talbot Green with Angel Oak Home Loans. The real estate market is extremely competitive right now. The importance of being pre-qualified is absolute must before you begin shopping for a new home. At Angel Oak, we offer a wide variety of programs ranging from conventional, government, and portfolio loans that fit most financial situations. To get started, contact Talbot Green, Braxton Green, Joanne Weir, or Wanda Hager at 751-2060.
NMLS 1719250, Equal Housing Lender.
Thinking about takeout tonight? Familia can make everything real easy for you with a great selection of Italian food and more. Visit FamiliaNC.com to see the full menu featuring pizzas, pastas, salads, and homemade desserts. Place your order online or call 689-6330 and Familia will have your order ready in their convenient drive-through window for pickup. Finish up a busy day with a great dinner for yourself or your family from Familia. Familia on Fire Tower Road near Pitt Community College.
Hey, Troy here with my buddy Cam from Tailgate Classics, the only vintage store here in Greenville selling all types of cool stuff. Cam, you got something new for folks, too, that just hit.
Yes, sir. If you guys have had some good times back in the 90s at some of your favorite places like Grog's, The Elbow, and tons of other old businesses, we're doing a retro line of T-shirts that are available now.
Fantastic. So if you enjoyed hanging out at those places, now you can wear the gear. How can folks find you online, too?
That's shoptailgateclassics.com or come see us in person at 304 Evans Street.
Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. Wings Over delivers. If you're looking for wings to be delivered to your home, Wings Over Greenville has you covered with no third party needed. Wings Over Greenville has its own in-house delivery service. Be sure to try the all-new tender sandwiches by ordering ahead on the Wings Over mobile app. Open till 3 a.m. on Friday and Saturday, Wings Over has everything to cure those late-night munchies. Give them a call at 758-9464. Wings Over Greenville. They deliver.
Pirate Radio.
We're going to be bigger, faster, stronger, and older. That's always a good combination.
The voice of the Pirate Nation. You're listening to The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, working for our community, not for shareholders. Now, back to the show.
All right, welcome back as we wrap things up. I'm going to go to Durham in the morning. The Durham Bulls take on the Memphis Redbirds and Alec Burleson at 11 a.m., one of those special Education Day games for the Durham Bulls. So going to get a chance to interview him for the Cliff Godwin Show. That interview and that story should run on Sunday's show for the Coach Godwin Show. And then we've got the Turner Brown story that we've already done. That'll run in that show as well. So we're looking forward to that. East Carolina and NC State coming up tomorrow night. They may move that game up, but nothing has been said officially as of yet. I want to thank Amanda Moore, lacrosse coach at East Carolina, for joining us today, and Rose coach Ronald Vincent, Conley coach Jason Mills. Rose Conley 2 set for tomorrow night at Guy Smith Stadium. Thanks to those two coaches for joining us to talk about that great matchup. That's our show. We'll see you back here next week on The Brian Bailey Show.
This has been The Brian Bailey Show, powered by Greenville Utilities, and also brought to you by
Angus Grill, Bostic Sugg Furniture, Bojangles, East Coast Grading, Papa John's, Pepsi, Seared Chop House, Taft